Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Aries energy. And like usual, the top row is going to be high vibe energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy energy in our Aries energy. Some people are battling within themselves. We have our dualistic nature. We have to make decisions in life. What is my truth? What am I going to do? And some people are struggling within themselves. Do I live life differently? Do I have hope and faith and belief in me, in my dreams and love? Am I going to live my life the way I've been living my life? Am I going to grow and heal and mature myself? Am I not? Am I going to stay in my comfort zone? You know, it's typical things we all deal with. It's just that some people in life at given times are done with the debate within themselves. And they do harness high vibe energy and they say, I'm moving forward in life differently. I've learned some lessons. I've grown. I've healed. I've matured myself. I'm ready to face my fears to go to the next stage of life. In the process of becoming more authentically myself, or more healed, or more mature, or more bold and brave and confident. And when we do that in our life, that's too many. There's going to be some people in our world that aren't going to be moving forward in that way because, you know, they're not there yet. They may never get there yet. We all kind of grow and heal and mature ourselves at different times. So listen to your intuition. We all tap into Aries energy. Do you harness a more hopeful, believing, creative, inspired, intuitive, loving Aries energy? Or are you more motivated by the world, or your fear, or your insecurity, or your pride, or your ego? And what about other people? So the reason for the top row's reading is joyous fun. I've kind of been interpreting this as like an Eight of Wands energy. We're either motivated and inspired to grow and mature and heal ourselves, or we're kind of in our more immature nature. We've got lessons to learn in life. Some people are more bold and brave and confident and healed and mature than we are, and we could be that in relation to some other people in the world. Once we kind of see the truth of it, that what we're kind of motivated and inspired by and where we're at in life and how we view life and is different than some other people in our life, we might want to distance ourselves from some people in our life to live our life differently and hang out with people who are more on the same page as us. You know, and the only card showing for the top row is Great Achievement, which is kind of like the Six of Wands card. When we take inspired action to have hope and faith and belief in our dreams, to not let our fears and our insecurity and our more immature, indulgent nature kind of manipulate us, that's when we've had great achievement in our life. We've conquered one phase of life to be willing to face our fears to go to the next phase of life. Just like we did age 15 to age 18, 18 to 21, 21 to 25. And I think we're meant to do that throughout our life. Some people do, some people don't. Some people get to a certain phase of life, they become an adult, and we can blend in with all the other adults in the world. Where do I want to be on the spectrum? Everybody's got free will. You know, some people, it's like, I got a job, I got a relationship, I got married, I'm good. And there is no more ambition to grow and heal and mature themselves or have any other aspirations other than that. Other people want to be in relationships, may want to get married, have a job, but they also want to challenge themselves to grow to their full potential, to keep growing and healing and maturing themselves. And some people don't. Some people, theirs is a little later on in life where it's like, no, this is where I always wanted to be. I'm good here, you know, and then other people want to keep challenging themselves. You know, we're all different strokes for different folks, right? The reason for the bottom row's reading is kindred partnership. And underneath that is playing it safe. We can all have a comfort zone of how we view life, how we like to live life, and us in relationship to other people. Some people are much more wanting to live their life differently than we want to live our life. Smaller town, big city, you know, more just what is your dreams? And everybody's kind of got their dreams of what they have and what they feel comfortable with. We can all want to stay at a certain stage of life and how we live our life because it's where we're at. It's what feels comfortable to us. And we could know some people we could stay in that type of relationship with. But if we listen to our intuition could be telling us that we're just ready to step forward in life a little differently than we did before. I think high vibe loving people offer love and encouragement to people in their life. Are you willing to move forward with me in this way? I'm just kind of inspired to do life a little differently. Do you want to move forward with me in that way? And sometimes we have, generally, we're kind of making these small shifts in our life where it can kind of be imperceptible at the time. But when you look back in 5 years or 10 years, it really can make a big difference in your life of the direction of where your life goes. High vibe people listen to their intuition. Shadowy, worldly energy can be where we make decisions more out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego, immaturity. And sometimes when we're ready to live life differently, high vibe, 6 of Wands, Leo energy, I want to become more authentically myself. I have my own unique talent, skills, and interests and things that motivate and inspire me, and I don't want my fears and my insecurities kind of dictate the life that I live. And we could have gotten in friendships and relationships just like we can get in certain jobs. And it could have been great for a long time. A lot of commonality, a lot of things. We were on the same page at the same time. We were at that stage of life. And then sometimes when we're ready to move forward in life differently, some other people in our life aren't ready to live life differently. And so we wish them peace, love, and joy, but I'm going to kind of go pursue some of these things or ways of viewing life, or I'm going to go get a job where I have more responsibilities or where I can advance my career. And it's from love. It's offering other people to move forward with you in that way. But people, it's about treating other people the way you like to be treated, being just and fair, acting with character and integrity, having hope and faith and belief. And some people aren't ready and may never be ready to step out of their comfort zone. And if what makes them, everybody's got free will. If living their life a certain way, viewing life a certain way, being in certain type of jobs or relationship dynamics, that makes them feel safe and secure and comfortable, then, would any of us want someone to force us to try to live our life in a way that we're not comfortable with? We let people live their life the way they want to live it. And if they ever get motivated and inspired to face some of their fears or heal or grow or mature or expand their perception of how they view the world, maybe they will. The difference can be high vibe people encourage other people to love and believe in themselves. Sometimes, though, we can be at a stage of life and other people in our life don't want us to grow and heal and mature ourselves because we're going to look at life differently. We're going to go do other things in our life. And some of the people in our life aren't planning to do that and don't want to do that. But they might then not want us to do that. So kind of shadowy, worldly energy, we can feel it's these things or people in our life or just our fear and insecurities or whatever that kind of limit us and oppress us and confine us and restrict us. And sometimes we can find ourselves in relationships with people who don't want us to step out of our comfort zone and go pursue our dreams because they don't plan to. And they're going to live their life like this. And so then sometimes people can turn kind of shadowy, which instead of being truthful and honest and just and fair and acting with character and integrity, shadowy Aries can be people who are being kind of controlling in our life, trying to make us live our life like they live their life. Even if they're just a family member or an acquaintance, it's like, not someone we're going to like marry and give birth to something new with, or a relationship that we could give birth to our dreams with. But sometimes we just have other people in our life that it's like, well, I don't want you to go live your life like that, because then it'll bother me that I'm living my life like this. And so then they can try to play on our fears and our codependency and our insecurities, and maybe try to tempt us to keep being in our fear or our insecurity or our codependency, instead of being inspired to have some hope and faith and belief and listen to our intuition. Life's about making mistakes. Why not go try to pursue something, and if it doesn't work out, then maybe that wasn't the right thing, or we keep pursuing, like trying to go get a new job where we think we could use our unique traits and characteristics to grow to our full potential. It's like the people who created the light bulb. How many attempts did that take? I'm glad they didn't give up on trying to make a light bulb. I'm glad people didn't give up on indoor plumbing and creating cell phones and airplanes and heart surgery. But there's some people that it's like, no, let's keep living our life like this. And if I live my life like this, you should live your life like that. And then we just sometimes have people who want us to stay in friendships, in relationships, at a job. But they're not loving and encouraging us to become all we can be. And they want us to, whatever manipulates them, their fear, their insecurity, other people in their life, the world at large, ego, image, addictions, whatever, they want us to let those things manipulate us too. But it's like, somewhere along the way, some people had hope and faith and belief in their dreams, live their life at a certain stage of life, and then they were ready to go to the next stage of life, face their fears from love. High vibe people take action out of hope and faith and belief in love. And when we keep staying in a certain stage of life, it becomes stagnant and dead, and there's like nothing new to learn there. But we might stay there just because we're fearful of believing in ourselves, and maybe we would have to distance ourselves or detach, move away, something, from some people in our life. And that's sometimes when we can see people's more emotionally shadowy nature come out. And again, it can be because they're not willing to get out of their more worldly, egoic nature, or to move forward out of their comfort zone to live life differently. And they might want us to stay in a relationship with them, but then they use shadowy ways to try to get us to stay. Things that can cause us a lot of inner conflict, like, why are you acting like that? I thought we were on the same page. I thought we both were going to go on this adventure together and give birth to new things and step out of our comfort zone and deal with our fears and insecurities. And that's when we could hit a point in a relationship. I'm kind of viewing both of these cards as fiery energy. And some people don't want to take that more creative, inspired action in their life because it maybe does require them to deal with their own inner conflict, and maybe at a kind of a core foundational level, they are kind of more aligned with living their life, making their life more about the world instead of being more authentically themselves in the world, kind of hiding behind their egoic nature or their defensive nature. And again, we'd have to be inspired to want to deal with the things within ourselves about, why don't I do that? And it can make people upset. Why are you even making me feel like I have to deal with these issues? I don't want to deal with them. You should just stop what you're doing, and we should go back to doing life the way we've done it. But the high vibe people have already realized that continuing to live my life this way, because the Six of Wands moves away from the Five of Wands, I've already been here, done this, kind of learned what I needed to learn, And it's starting to cause me inner conflict about the fact that I keep living my life this way. And I'm starting to realize that it might be more out of fear or codependency or not loving and believing in myself. And I don't like to feel that way. So I was inspired to do this work to figure out, why am I kind of defensive to being more authentically myself, or being more bolder, braver, confident in the world, or believing in myself? And then I did that work, and it's kind of hard to, high vibe energy is like the truth set you free. You were enlightened to something that previously could have been manipulating you. And it's kind of hard to go back to living your life trying to now stay in denial of the truth. But there can be a part of us that would like to, because it does take work and effort to face your fears, to not give in to your more shadowy nature or worldly nature or prideful, manipulative, bossy, whatever, lustful, whatever nature, right? Maybe I should just play it safe and stay in a relationship, even though I could realize that the people I'm in relationship with aren't maybe inspired to look at life in a more hopeful, believing, loving, just fair way. And maybe I could feel like we're kind of not on the same page, or that they're kind of immature, I could feel, or maybe I feel like they're kind of manipulative or bossy or controlling, or seems like the scales always kind of have to be tipped in their favor in some way. And for a long time, we can be in relationships and we don't realize that about people. And sometimes people can get spoiled in a relationship too. And then they think, well, I like it how you're loving and nurturing and supportive and encouraging to me. And I'm not going to do any work within myself to grow or heal or mature myself. I do like this setup. And it's like, I was being loving and encouraging and supportive because I wanted you to keep moving forward with me in a relationship. But now you seem to think that it should be more about you, or that you should be indulged, have some type of privileged position in this relationship. Or maybe I was just in denial that was kind of who you were to begin with. And I just wasn't seeing the truth of it. Because, we don't want to see the truth. Because then we'd have to take this inspired action in our life and stand up for ourselves and what we believe in, harnessing high vibe Aries energy. Let's go look at the bottom row. The first three cards that came out is Fragmented Energy, Present Power, and Friends and Colleagues. You could look at the fragmented energy as just that we've all got lessons to learn in life. And we all, have these things. The present power kind of reminds me of Aries and Leo energy. There's these things of the world that we want, and we want to be in relationships, and we want to have jobs and friendship groups and everything. And we got some lessons to learn, and some growing up to do, and maturing to do. And we get in relationships with people that, in a lot of ways, we could have a lot of things in common with them, or we probably wouldn't hang out with them, But sometimes we can get in relationships with people and we don't realize that some of the people we're in a relationship with, they don't ever plan to take that more bold, brave, confident action to heal or grow or do what their fears or insecurities. They're happy living life just like this, like forever. And it should stay like this forever. I'm not going to deal with my issues that cause me inner conflict. If I am, it's like I'm going to stay in the scattered energy, which is kind of my more immature nature. Possibly more codependent energy that people could have been in. We all like to stay in our comfort zone. We've all been children where we look to other people to fill our cup emotionally and make us feel more stable and grounded. And I think the hardest lesson to learn is to love yourself. And that's like high vibe Leo energy. not from my ego, not from my more codependent or fearful, immature nature. I'm going to be inspired to love myself, to be more independent, to know how to be in life-giving energy within myself, offer myself love and compassion and forgiveness. Like, I'm going to take over the role of being my own best mother, father, coach voice in my own head, because I'm not a child anymore. And I have to learn to, you could look at this as our more immature worldly nature and our more loving, intuitive, creative nature. And we have the decision in our Aries energy to decide, do I keep going back and forth and not really picking a path? Duality. A path needs to be picked. But some people just want to keep juggling back and forth. No, I want to present myself as more bold, brave, confident, and loving than I might be, and mature than I am. But I still don't want to detach from my more worldly view of life and my maybe more self-interest view of life. I want to be in friendships and relationships with people, but I'm not quite sure if I want to do love. I get hurt doing love, but I want to be in those relationships, so maybe I'll just kind of go back and forth. And if the people I'm in a relationship with, they choose to love and believe in themselves and move forward, maybe I'll just stay here and find someone else that I can juggle with. Or then there's some people in the world that have decided I am aligned with my more worldly self nature, and I just want to be in relationships with people, and I hope I can find someone who, like if they're someone motivated and inspired by a more emotionally mature, maturing relationship, they're not going to have that come into reality with me. But because I indulge my more being about myself, my defensiveness, maybe making my life more about my ego and my image than growing and maturing and loving myself, maybe I'll find someone who will stay in a relationship with me, aligning with my more worldly nature. And we could have gotten in relationships with some people and realized they're not ready to pick a path. They either keep going back and forth and can't decide, do I have open faith and belief in love, or do I want to make my world more about me or ego and image or indulgence? For those of you who've seen the truth about people like that, some high vibe people have moved away from some of those people. If you've been in relationships with people who, love is what unifies us, and the puzzle piece that's missing there is over the heart, feminine figure, emotionally, doesn't matter if people are male or female. We can all present ourselves in the world whatever way we want, but what's the truth of how we feel emotionally? So the masculine figures can represent how we're presenting ourselves in the world, but what's the truth? And the feminine figures can reflect how we really think and feel. And there's some people are going back and forth. They got some lessons to learn. They've probably had some other loving, nurturing, supportive people in their life kind of distance themselves from them. Because some of these people got some lessons to learn about love. Again, shadowy energy can be people who aren't enlightened to the truth yet. And some people don't want to be. I'm kind of more about indulging myself in the world and in relationships. And I could be okay with that. I'm good with that. I don't want to maybe be in more deep, meaningful relationships. I might not want to do love. If I do love, I take a risk of being hurt. And I'm not bold and brave enough to look at life as an adventure to be lived and do love. I'll just indulge myself in relationships with people. And some of you might know some people who are like that. But initially, we've all got lessons to learn. We can all get in relationships with people because we have lessons to learn from them. We can think people are on the same page as us, and maybe emotionally they're not. Or what drives and motivates them at a core foundational level is different than kind of what drives and motivates us. And we get in those relationships with people and we think it's going to be love. And maybe we're caught up in the worldly thing, like, isn't this what you're supposed to do? And isn't everybody supposed to want to be in a relationship? And isn't everybody supposed to want to get married? And isn't everybody supposed to want to have kids? Well, not everybody does. But you could have gotten in some relationships with some people, and that's what you were working to have. Nothing wrong with that. I'm in favor of that. But then you could realize that could be where some people stop. Great, I have a job. Great, I have a relationship. Great, I got married. Great, I had kids. But then they operate again. The masculine figures can represent people who operate more from their pride and ego nature, worldly nature, whether they're male or female. They present themselves as loving, but they're really more about, I want a job, I want a relationship, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to do the status quo. And the other people like, I want those things also, but I also have this creative, inspired nature within me to heal and grow and mature myself and free myself from some of my fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs to keep wanting to move forward, complete one phase of life. Okay. Again, just like we did age 15, 18, 21 to 25. I did that phase. We did that. We could have gotten in a relationship, could have gotten married, could have had children, could have gotten a job, whatever the situation is. Put a lot of work and effort into making those things work. But then we could realize that the people that were in a relationship are like, no, this is good. Let's stay here. Because otherwise, in the Dark Thoughts card, I'd have to work through why I'm not willing to give birth to something new. Like, listen to love and intuition for this relationship to go to the next level. For me to step out of my comfort zone. And some people aren't willing to. The dark thoughts of the fears and the insecurities are what stops some people kind of repeating an old pattern over and over. And some of these people came into our life because we needed to make a choice. Are you motivated and inspired to grow to your full potential, to free yourself from the things that manipulate you, because you found yourself that you got in a relationship with someone who could have come into your life to show you how they live life, and it challenged you to decide, do I have hope and faith and belief in my dreams, or is this how I'm going to live my life? Which can be staying in stuck, stagnant energy, playing it safe. It could all look really good by worldly standards, but the people I'm in a relationship with are not willing to kind of keep growing and healing and maturing themselves. And any phase of life, it can become confining, restricting, and limiting. And some people are okay with that because the alternative is too scary. And other people are like, this really bothers me more than apparently it bothers you. And I don't like feeling, I can't withstand the mental conflict of feeling oppressed and confined and limited and restricted, where I can't become more authentically myself. And, high vibe energy is being independent in the world, being more authentically yourself, loving and believing in your dreams. And shadowy worldly energy can be more about conforming yourself to the world with the status quo card. And some people, that is what drives and motivates them. I don't want to do things differently. I don't want to be more authentically myself. I don't want to not live life from my more worldly egoic nature. I think we're supposed to make our life. Whatever the world says we're supposed to do, that's what we're supposed to do. I don't listen to my intuition. It might cause me inner conflict too, conforming to the world, but I'm not willing. It takes time, energy, and effort to work through the fears we have about being more authentically ourselves in the world, to not make our life about letting these things manipulate us, which can be just our ego and our fear, our competitive nature in the world. What if I were to really go do what I really wanted to go do from a place of love, did the things I really that I love, that motivate and inspire me? Well, what would people say? I should maybe keep this job. This job pays well. It's okay. But what would I really like to do? If I really had free will, what would people say? Maybe I wouldn't make as much money. And if I make my life about ego and image and looking like a boss in the world, then maybe I wouldn't seem as victorious and successful. And that's where Leo energy, shadowy Leo energy, our ego, and our competitive nature, I don't dare go get that job or do that career field or go get in a relationship with those people, because sometimes people want to stay in a relationship with people who are more codependent. You're not going anywhere, right? Perfect. Let's stay here. I don't know if I were to go get in a relationship with people who do motivate and inspire me to love and believe in myself. What if they keep moving forward in ways that maybe I don't believe, like I'll hit stumbling blocks, and maybe, then I wouldn't have a relationship with someone who stays with me, like, no matter what. But it's like, again, if we are truthful and honest and loving, we can be in relationships with people that are more confident, more bold, more brave, more inspiring, or whatever than we are. But we can still be in relationship with them. We can still, they wouldn't keep being in a relationship with us if there wasn't something they valued and appreciated that we bring to the table. It could be a more stable, grounded energy for people who are more out there, and it's kind of a home base for some of them, possibly. And we like to have, high vibe Aries is people who make good decisions in their life, and they're mature and they're stable, and they just learned all these lessons in life. And sometimes being that type of person for other people who are more creative and inspired or something, it is the groundedness that they need. But some people have fear that, well, they wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone like me because I'm not quite like them. And it's like, are you both operating from love? Are you both inspired to deal with your own fears that could come up along the way and treat each other in a just and fair manner and act with character and integrity? And you work through any issues together instead of getting up in your defensiveness, or I need to try to control this, or, not getting triggered up in your fears and insecurities. Because if we don't take action like that, there's going to be people who would be happy to be in a relationship with us. It just doesn't challenge us to grow to our full potential, or they don't want us to, or they like it that we don't really love and believe in ourselves and are happy we don't. Let's go look up at the top row. We have 3 cards not showing themselves, and the way I interpret that is you have to do this inner work within yourself. It's things that people don't see about you. People could see you as a very harnessing like high vibe Aries, high vibe Sagittarius, high vibe Leo. You're maybe kind of spontaneous, loving, fun, warm, seem to be making good decisions in your life. But what some people don't know about you is that the high vibe people had to detach from harnessing these energies in a more worldly, shadowy way because it was causing them to stay in relationships with people who they needed to distance themselves from, because those people were maybe trying to be a little bossy and controlling of them. And so what some people don't know about you is the people in your life who harness this energy in a shadowy way or a more worldly focused way were people that you've cut out of your life. And the way you were able to do that, which is what some people also don't understand, is because you looked at how you kind of harness those energies to some degree in a worldly, shadowy way that would make you align with those people to begin with. And now you're harnessing these energies in a high vibe way. And the reason I say that is because sometimes some people who are more about their worldly nature and ego or image or indulgence or whatever, they could be people who try to create an illusion they're a boss in the world, that they're more emotionally stable, healed, grown, mature than they are. And they see you moving forward in this high vibe way, and they could think that you're just creating an illusion just like they are. But you're not trying to confuse people about the truth of who they are. You are authentically inspired to learn lessons in life, to free yourself from the things that manipulate you. And some people just think you're doing a better job at creating an illusion in the world about who you are than they're doing. And so the dark thoughts in that way could be, shadowy energy is competitive energy, jealous, envious, all those kind of things, right? And there could be some people in the world right now that are creating this illusion in their life about how wonderful their life is, playing it safe, and they're jealous and they don't know how you're doing what you're doing. And the reason is, well, for one thing, I'm not going to get in a relationship just because of my fear, my insecurity, my pride, my ego, my lust, my greed. I did work within myself to love myself, to kind of love my status quo nature, my worldly nature. And I was inspired to get out of my ego, to be willing to learn lessons in life, to admit that I had lessons to learn, that I had healing and growing and maturing to do. And to see how different people that I've come in contact with in my life have shown me all the different ways that they live life, how they view life, what motivates and inspires them. And some of the people are people that I realize that's not my truth. And I don't want to live my life like that. They can live it that way, that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. But I kind of felt like that wasn't aligned with my truth, and I did this work to love myself, to heal. Took time to not go engage out in the world, to emotionally get balance within myself, to get clear about my truth, to heal from past pain and heartbreak, so I could let it go, so that I can move forward ready for the next lesson in life. High vibe Sagittarius is about willing to learn lessons in life. And the high vibe people did this work to free themselves from the things that manipulated them so they can move forward to the next phase of life. They're not just creating an illusion. Look, I moved on. Look, I healed. Look, I grew, I matured, whatever. They really did. But some of the other people could be trying to create an illusion that they're moving forward just like you. It's just that they really haven't done the inner work. It's still their fear or their codependent nature or their immature nature or their bossy, controlling, whatever nature that's kind of guiding the decisions they make in life. We're either taking action in truth and love, or we're taking action for some other reason. Some people are just trying to find someone else to get in a relationship with them. I feel in scattered energy. I want a certain status or image. I'm in my lust. I want to be in a relationship. I'll go present myself as loving to someone, you know. But the problem is, if they go get in relationships again, trying to present themselves as more high vibe than they are, well, the same scenario is going to play out again. The high vibe people are trying to move relationships forward to the next level. And these other people, they start to realize, aren't willing to go there. The high vibe people aren't willing to stay manipulated by whatever manipulates them. And they wish them peace, love, and joy, and they move on. You know, they need to not try to present themselves as something they're not. You know, go find people who you think are on the same page as you, that are motivated and inspired by the same things you are. And again, it can happen because we can all have been at whatever stage of life. Sometimes some people are more stable, more grounded, more mature than we are. We get in a relationship with them, but then they like staying at that level. And we get to that level, then they don't like it because now we're ready to go to the next level, you know? And it's kind of like they thought maybe they were going to be kind of like a teacher or a parent to you. Oh, you poor thing. You have fears and insecurities, which we can all do. I'm going to be a loving, nurturing person with you. You can be safe with me. And we think we can and we feel safe with them. But then we heal and grow and mature and we're ready to go to the next phase. And they're like, wait a minute, no. You were supposed to stay here. And that's where we realize at a core foundational level, they like to maybe be involved in relationships, can be loving and nurturing in a lot of ways, but they don't want it to change. They don't, kind of like they always like to view themselves as like the loving, encouraging person to people who maybe have some fears or insecurities or codependent nature or don't have the stability or security that they have. But they like playing that role in people's life. I don't want to have to give up my kind of privileged position in this relationship and you viewing me a certain way to do a more equal give and take relationship. I like this kind of imbalanced relationship. I didn't mind it if you healed and grew some, but I don't want it to be where I have to start to learn lessons and deal with my own fears and insecurities to keep up with you. Like the teacher doesn't like to become the student. And we could all kind of feel that way. Even people who are very loving and giving can get in relationships with people like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make that person love and believe in themselves. I'm sure they're going to choose love. Well, it can be, I don't know if it worked with anyone, but if you ever got somebody who seemed to be this like, oh my gosh, I'm going to love and nurture you. And oh, I know you're defensive and I know you're kind of bossy or controlling or immature or whatever. You know, I'm going to make you choose love. If any of those people would have, it can really be, you know, people do have to redefine how they view themselves. And it can be like, well, I always kind of viewed myself as like the loving, nurturing person, and you needed my help. And you can see where it can be an ego thing for people, right? But I think some people want people to stay in a more codependent energy. Other people hope other people will heal and grow and mature themselves. Both of them, though, could have problems if the other people do kind of get on the same level with them because the relationship does change. So let's go back up to looking at these 3 cards. A consciousness of lack, letting go, and fear. So because of our own lack mentality, not having learned how to love ourselves, maybe not realizing we had some issues to deal with, and when we get in relationships with other people, our issues can kind of bubble up to the surface that we could have not even known were there. And then we have to do this work within ourselves, and sometimes we can find that, oh my gosh, I have repeated a pattern. I have gotten in a relationship with someone who kind of reminds me of other people I've known in my life. And why do I keep getting in this type of relationship dynamic? And so then we have to look at our own, do I value what I bring to the table? If I am a loving, nurturing, encouraging person, do I get in relationships with people who show me they're not really a loving, encouraging person? Why do I get in relationships with people like that? Why do I try to change people? Why don't I go find the people in the world who do seem to be on the same page as me? If you were to look at life as going down the stream and the river of life, and based on the lessons you've learned, and, sometimes we can camp out on the shore of life like, nope, I need to stop here for a while. I'm not ready to continue on. If we've kind of already went past certain things that aren't things that kind of manipulate us or that we've kind of freed ourselves from, but we're going against the flow of life to go get somebody who set up camp 4 or 5 lessons back. No, you should come with me. No, I'll help you. God has been working with people all their life. Everybody has books, movies, music, and probably some supportive, loving people in their community or their family or their life who have been trying to work with people to get them to learn some of the same lessons that you've learned. And when we realized that as we went through those things of life, some people came out over here with hope and faith and belief and love. Some other people could have went through some similar experiences, but they came out over here being defensive to love or defensive to trusting people or not looking at life that there's any higher truth or justice to aspire to than what the world tells them, to try to change people's philosophy of life and how they view the world. That can take years and decades. So it's like, why am I not challenging myself? Sometimes I think people can be a loving person, but they haven't learned to love themselves. So if they have loving people who treat them the way they treat people, it's like, oh, no, not me. No, I'm a person who loves other people. No, I don't do that. I don't know how to accept people loving me. I'm a loving person to other people. Well, we do that. And some people are happy we do that. But we're not really in a relationship that, we could give and other people can take. And eventually, it does become depleting. And the people in the world who are taking from us and kind of indulging in a relationship with us, not really becoming that type of person in relationship with us, and we could wonder if our dreams are ever going to come into reality. And it's realizing I need to work with people who are self-motivated within themselves to do this work, to just be on the same page I'm at, which doesn't mean anybody's perfect. There's other people who are more emotionally mature and creative and inspired than we are. But I at least need to find someone who's kind of motivated and inspired by some of the same things I am and has freed themselves from some of the same things that I've freed myself from, and is willing to work together with me, where we're both willing to work together to give birth to something new together. But you know, sometimes there are shadowy people in the world and they know they don't plan to do anything differently. I like the status quo. I might like to be in a relationship with creative, inspired, loving people. But then I try to trap them and hope that if I get in a relationship with them, even when they see the truth that I don't ever plan to deal with free myself from anything that manipulates me, I'm not going to keep growing and maturing myself. I'm hoping because of their own pride and ego, they won't leave and they'll kind of keep indulging me in this relationship. And I never planned to bring their dream into reality. I created the illusion that I'm this high vibe person who becomes more independent, who looks at life from a higher perspective, but I'm not. And some of you realize that about some people you were in a relationship with. And so you needed to do this work within yourself about letting go and detaching from workplaces, friendships, or relationships with people, because you just realized your dream wasn't going to come into reality there. People aren't motivated and inspired, having hope and faith and belief in themselves and in love and giving birth to new things. They want to stay within this range of way of viewing life and living life, and you felt it confining and restricting and limiting. So you did do that work within yourself. You were inspired to work through the issues. It starts within yourself. The people we align ourselves with in the world can just be reflections of, to a degree or an aspect of that we align with within ourselves. And same way with some of the people that in our life and the people they align with in their life. There's a part of them to some degree that aligns with that way of viewing life or living life. And high vibe people wanted to free themselves from it because they found it oppressive or unjust or unfair or unkind or unloving or manipulative or more prideful and egotistical than motivated by love. And so now the high vibe people cut out people in their life that were, as they detach from that within themselves, they naturally kind of detach from wanting to hang out with people who are like that. And maybe since a lot of these ones are kind of negative, it was just being enlightened to the truth of how that nature within you can manipulate you, and thereby other people can play on that nature within you. And that's not what you're investing your time, energy, and effort into anymore. You're staying focused on being in life-giving energy. I choose which thoughts and emotions I choose to sit in every day. Not in denial of some of the thoughts and emotions I have. I work through them to keep breaking the chains so it doesn't get a hold on me. And I keep being inspired by truth and love. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Aries energy that they might not see coming? The Three of Pentacles, because of the Page of Cups. So when we kind of detach from old ways of living and some of the people in the world we might have been in a relationship with, the high vibe people get to a place where I view the Three of Pentacles as Capricorn energy, shadowy Capricorns represented by the devil. The high vibe people get to a place of operating from a foundation of love. Why? Because they offered love to the situation. Love is what helps us free ourselves from the things that try to imprison us and keep us stuck. So you offered love to it. As you offered love to it and did this work within yourself and offered love to other people, if you want to work together with me in an authentic, loving way, inspired not by fear and insecurity and pride and ego and lust or greed or immaturity, but truth and love, let me know. But in the meantime, I wish you peace, and I'm going to keep working on moving forward to manifest what I want to manifest into reality. And then as you do that, I think there's going to be other people that want to work with you because they see that you're not trying to manipulate them. You're not trying to control them. You're not trying to tempt them in their pride and their ego and their fear and their lust and their greed. You're offering people love. And the Page of Cups is just like a simple offer, It's not a profession of love. I'm just offering people like peace, love, and joy who wants to work together with me in that energy, who wants to move forward in this way. But there's some people in your life who are mad that you're not indulging in pride and ego and fear and insecurity, that you are taking action inspired by truth and love, because some of those people can only get in a relationship with you if you're in shadowy energy. And they could be mad that you keep being inspired by truth and love, because then they know they can't come in to try to manipulate you, playing on your lust and your greed and your fear and your insecurity and your lack mentality and your competitive nature and your egoic nature, because that's not the energy you're staying in. And the only way some people want to be in a relationship with people is if they can manipulate you with you being in that energy. So then it could have some of those people in their competitive nature trying to compete with you because they know you're a loving, nurturing person. They know that other people are going to want to be in a relationship with you. They know that you're moving forward and looking very kind of like shining your light in the world and seeming very confident and authentic. And they want to look like they're doing that too. And they're probably trying to do it by, shadowy energies, codependent energy. I need to work with other people to make me look that way. Who can I go try to manipulate to make it look like that's how I'm living my life too? And right now, they could be trying to manipulate someone, hoping that person won't work through their own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs to love and believe in themselves, or to see the truth of this person, and will keep helping them create this illusion. What's coming up for some shadowy people that they don't see coming? This card, because of the Two of Swords, well, for one thing, let's go see what this card is. Empress in reverse. So the Empress is Libra, Taurus energy. The Two of Swords is Libra energy. We all have our ideas of what we think is just and fair. And for some of the shadowy people, what they didn't see coming, because they could know that you're a very loving person, and they could know that you have love for them, but you're not indulging them in their ego anymore, or their immature nature, or their manipulative nature. If they want to move forward in truth and love and justice and fairness, high vibe Leos about illuminating the truth, they could move forward with you. But they're not, some of them. And what they didn't see coming is that you weren't going to keep indulging them and offering them love and staying in a relationship with them. Why? Because you're no longer in denial of the truth. You're no longer stuck in scattered energy. You did this work within yourself to see the truth, and the truth set you free. I know some people who are either more about the world or more about themselves or more about trying to manipulate people and control people, or all about themselves. And I'm not in denial of the truth anymore. And I don't want to be in a relationship or give birth to anything new with you or invest in you emotionally in that way anymore. Because you saw the truth and the truth set you free. They didn't see that coming. And just like some people didn't see that with you, there's other people in the world that were in relationships with people who are kind of shadowy. And some of those people are seeing the truth of what could have made them stay in a job, a friendship, a relationship with people who weren't being like just and fair and warm and loving and encouraging and truthful and honest. Why would I stay in relationships with people like that? Why do I not take the lesson I learned from this life experience to love and believe in myself, to see the truth of what I do like and don't like in the world, and wish those people peace and move on and love and believe in myself that I can manifest my dreams into reality? And there's other people in the world doing this too. Another thing some of the shadowy people don't see coming is there might be people who don't see the truth of them. And some of those people are going to want to be in a relationship with them. For some, this whole cycle will repeat itself again. But I kind of think that if some people have pushed away loving people in their life, it's like, love didn't work? Okay, well, guess who comes up to bat to try to get people to see the truth? Probably someone in shadowy energy. So someone could be trying to get in a relationship with someone, saying they have seen the truth. I do want to be in a relationship with you. Or they don't know the truth about this person, so they have lessons learned from this person, just like some other people have had to learn lessons from this person. But if they get a shadowy person, they could get someone who also didn't want to listen to their intuition with some loving people in their life. And those people moved on. And the people who are willing to maybe stay in a relationship with them are people who are hiding that they might try to present themselves like, oh my gosh, I'm this loving, nurturing person. But they're not loving. They are in a shadowy Libra, Taurus energy. I'm out of balance. I don't act with character and integrity. I might be more about myself. I might want to be in a relationship to make me feel more stable or grounded, or for my image or my status. And I too maybe just create an illusion. And I too have come into your life to teach you some lessons, maybe about what it's like to be in a relationship with someone like yourself. Maybe someone who's on the same page as them. Someone else who views themselves a certain way, kind of could have illusions about who they are, like to view themselves a certain way, but that's really not the truth of who they are, but they want to stay in denial of the truth of it. And has a lot of fears and insecurities, or pride, or ego, immaturity, competitive. And then this person will go through kind of reaping what they sowed. And it will be an opportunity for them to decide how they're going to live their life moving forward. Whoa, I'm going to go back to trying to manipulate a high vibe person because this person, I don't like being in a relationship with someone like me, but I don't want to change. Or to make them realize that really, you might have someone who's willing to stay in a relationship with you, but it's just like false and fake. You know, it's all mental strategy instead of people authentically being inspired by love. Do you really want to stay in a fake, superficial relationship just because you so badly just want to be in a relationship, or because of the status or the image? Are you that much wanting to stay in denial of the truth? Sometimes our pride, our ego, our fear, our codependent nature does blind us to the truth. And some people, they're happy living their life that way because then they don't have to change. Nothing challenges them to heal or grow or mature themselves. And for some people, that's the ideal life. I just want to live my life the way I live it, where I don't have to deal with any of my issues. If I get in a relationship with someone, they got their own issues they don't deal with, and together neither one of us deal with it. Perfect. You know, but it can be living what could be a very chaotic life or unloved life. So we'll leave it there. There you go, Aries. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.